What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
And today we are diving into Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 6. Man, has Season 3 been delivering? However, there are some things that are a little confusing still, and some things that I think we're a little upset about. Definitely towards the end of this episode, we're going to talk about that right now. As always, though, this is a full discussion. We're just really chatting about the episode, so we'd love to hear your guys' comments below. It's more of a conversation than it is just some talking heads talking about Wheel of Time. So, that being said, if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Hit your notification bell so you never miss another episode. If you want to become a member of our Patreon and get behind-the-scenes access, shout-outs on videos, early access to videos, and cool stuff, links down in the description. Helps us out greatly, and you get to become a member of the community. With all that out of the way, let's dive in.
Is Thom the Bard a Forsaken?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
100%.
Only because he's the original character from the books.
Okay.
Like, that one of the main characters I remember as a young kid reading Wheel of Time, like the Eye of the, like the original book, was the introduction of like the bard type character, the Gleeman.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really like not just entertainers, they're also like the historians of this world. So I always found them fascinating. Their patchwork cloaks and like just the way they're all put together, and that they're like silver-tongued, charismatic people. And he plays a pretty, like, if I remember correctly, I'm again going to go back and reread the first book, but he plays a pretty big part in the book, much bigger than he does in the actual series, right? He shows up way more often. So he's not Forsaken, but he is an integral character for the side of good.
I felt like he could have been Forsaken because of this episode.
That would be an interesting twist that Amazon Prime is doing to the series rather than, what would be the lore of the books. He could be a Darkfriend. That could be something they could do with his character. But making him a full-blown Forsaken, that would be a big stretch from a known character.
So, the Forsaken, they all have like this crazy super gift power that they have, right? Each one has their own specialty.
So they're all channelers, right? So they all can weave. Each one of them is a subject matter expert, right? So you have Lanfear, who is like a dream walker. Mm-hmm. You have Moghedien, who is like the master of compulsion. You saw her controlling them in this episode. Like, that's her thing. You have the one we just saw die, Sammael. He's like almost like a Kratos, like a god of war, like type of character.
I was going to ask if he actually died in this, because they don't actually show it. They just showed the stuff falling on him.
Well, see, because they're supposed to be immortal.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like, you can kill them, but you have to like use a specific magical item to do so. So I don't know, because Forsaken can be killed. Ishamael is gone, right? Mm-hmm. He's gone. They killed him. So the only way we're going to see him anymore is like we did in this episode, where we get to see like 95 years ago and like a flashback to him.
Yeah.
Which we need to talk about that, because technically he was still locked in the tomb at that time. So it's interesting that, he's powerful enough that he can project himself out and help people still.
Because one of the clues for me about Thom was when Matt was talking to, I was like, how'd you even get away from that he won't even talk about it? But I'm wondering if he could be, like, he went Forsaken, but he possibly came back to the good side. Could he be, like, one of the instances of that?
Like a Lanfear?
Kind of, but less evil, period.
I don't know.
Because, as we see, she's still playing her fucking games.
Yeah, so this is obviously, like, the Forsaken and all of the actual meeting of these guys is way past where I ever read. So what I know is just based on what I've seen and what I've also done some digging on. So it could be. It very possibly could be. What do you guys think in the comments? And if you do know for a fact, you've read way through the series, and don't spoil it, but you can definitely put in your input so far.
All right. So let's go back to what you want to talk about. The beginning, the flashback with Liandrin.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild with her as the kid.
How crazy.
A kid with a kid.
She discovers she can channel through trauma.
Yep.
And I thought that was really cool to set up like her most iconic weave, which is like the firebolt through the forehead thing that she can do. And so to watch her, do it later, but also starting to kind of build and manipulate a new weave. I think she's starting to build her ability to compulsion, like what she was doing to the brown Aja that turned black, that she got all the information from, that shot her in the head while she was laying in bed. I keep forgetting her name. I think what she was doing was practicing her compulsion. Like, that's why she was, like, kind of coming in and out of consciousness a little bit. So I was like, that's interesting, because that's not necessarily her area of mastery, but she's going into it.
Well, she said that she wants to become a Forsaken.
Yeah. Also, in the book, Compulsion is like a much bigger part of the story early on. We're just now starting to like see the effects of it in like season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard a review the other day about the series that's huge book fans, and they were saying that if you want to really truly enjoy this universe, completely skip season 1.
Interesting. Why?
She never explained why. She just said, trust me, I regret ever going to season 1 from reading the books, because I was told to start at season 2, she said, and she's like, but I got curious, so I went to season 1 anyway, and yeah, it completely ruined everything for me. So if you ever want to just enjoy it for what the universe is, go season 2 and on.
Yeah, so it's interesting, because the one gripe I've really heard, reading through different conversations on the show, is that like Perrin should have never had a wife. He's just the son of the blacksmith. In the series, he is the blacksmith, and he has a wife, and they're both the blacksmiths.
Mm-hmm.
But in the series, his wife is the one we just met, we saw in this episode. They're getting closer, right? That's actually his wife.
The pixie-looking chick.
Yeah.
Do you remember her name yet?
No, starts with an F. I just can't lock it in for some reason. It took me forever to stop calling Moghedien Moghedeth, or whatever I was calling her forever.
Mogadishu.
Like, it's just when my brain scrambles that word for some reason. I can't get it to come out straight. But no, I get it. Because if you go back to season 1, there is so much of the actual lore and like context of the universe that you don't get. Like, you don't really, like, the first time they even mention that there are 2 different types of one power, and it's male and female, and they work together. The first time they ever mentioned it in the series was on this episode, when Maureen was talking to Rand. And she's like, no, the 2 magics are different. Like, obviously, you're always trying to stay in control and fight yours. Mine's different. Like, it's 2 different feelings that they get.
But I feel like that orb thing that she has,
Yeah.
she's getting the taste for what it feels like to use the male side, because the addiction part, right?
Well, I think that so to be correct, the weave is always addicting, no matter who you are. To be able to control that much power is addicting. Like, it feels good. It's euphoric to be able to do that. So it is like almost like taking a drug. So they are like more prone to want to do it. The men, however, because they start to go mad, and when they do it, it's a whole other thing.
Is going mad the same thing that would happen to a male Forsaken using the power also? I'm curious.
Forsaken are an exemption to the rule.
That's what I was...
So the Dark One is the reason the men go mad, and he's not going to make his generals go mad too.
Yeah.
So he cursed basically everyone else. His people are safe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Liandrin. When she's a kid, that whole issue there where she discovered that she could channel, as you mentioned, through trauma, but it also explains why she would have went red because of her hate of men after that point.
It definitely cements a deep hatred for men from a very young age.
Yes.
And why she is just so ruthless when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you mentioned that we got, what's his face show up again, the one who died? Ishamael. We got to see him start his little helping thing with her.
Yeah.
Walks up to her, is just super kind in a very extremely low point of her life. She just killed a man. She has a new power that she doesn't understand.
No one wants to help her. She's feeling very isolated, alone, has a brand new baby. And he comes to her at one of her lowest points. My thought, and let me know what you guys think of this in the comments, because I have no concrete evidence on it, but I have a theory.
Do you think he orchestrated it?
No. But, so that there's like this image of the restrained man, right? Like the guy who's like shackled, his neck is shackled, and they have the 2 women controlling him, right? Like that's a whole like background like lore that we learned about in this episode, right? You know what I'm talking about? The shackled man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Ishamael was the shackled man.
Yeah, I thought that too.
And that's why when she went to his throne, basically the altar of him, that's all that's left, right? Because he destroyed the women and left himself, then I think that because that's how she was able to like summon him from where he was, right? Because he's sealed away in the prison still. Like Rand hasn't made it there to free him, hasn't done all that stuff yet.
Almost like the statue itself is an anchor.
Right.
For the only reason he can talk from the prison.
Right. So because she's at like this anchor point, which is a great word, he can hear her and then get to her. Like if she was anywhere else, he would have never even known.
So just because she happened to stumble and stop there to hide with her baby,
he leveraged that opportunity and picked her up from her lowest point to turn her into a pawn. What do you guys think of that? I think that's how that worked, but I'm not sure. I just have a really strong feeling about it.
do you think she knows that that was him, or remembers that that's her first encounter with him?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that she has been working for him since she was that little girl. Yeah. She's been Black Aja the whole time, pretending to be whatever she needed to be.
So why did she seem to struggle to take on the oath
For which one?
to become Black Aja?
I don't
Right
think
before her kid died.
she was already Black Aja.
Was she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just misremembering or something.
I think she may have sworn some loyalties to Lanfear in that moment, just out of fear of what Lanfear could do to her. And also respecting the fact that she is a Forsaken, she's immortal, she's one of the strongest channelers in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But her loyalty is to Ishamael forever. Has been.
Okay.
Her goal, as she pointed out in this episode, is to ascend to the level of a chosen one.
Yes.
Like, she wants to be that powerful.
And by chosen one, we're talking Forsaken.
Well, that's what everyone else calls them, but they're the Dark One's chosen ones.
So yeah, Forsaken.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Just making sure, because
But in her eyes, it wouldn't be Forsaken, she would be chosen. So that's why I worded it that way.
perception,
Right.
based on where she was.
Terrorist or freedom fighter.
I really enjoyed seeing the princess daughter
That was
singing.
one of the best scenes, yes. Good pattern interrupt, and then just a great way to show those guys, like especially Matt, more like in his natural environment again, right? Gambling, talking, laughing, being himself. not
Life of the
locked-
party.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone that you definitely want to have fun around. But her voice was amazing for that. Was that actually her singing?
I believe it was, yeah. I don't know for sure, but I believe that really was her.
Okay, so Thom asked you, are you sure you want to do that one? Why?
It's a dirty ass song. You didn't realize that? Because she gets up and starts singing it, thinking it's about like, almost like longing to go back home, right?
Yeah.
But then she starts singing it and she sees all the women start rubbing their hills. Mm-hmm. And she realizes, oh crap, this is a dirty song. But then she just gives in and goes with it.
Okay. So I thought that's not where my mind was at, because I'm used to dirty shit. That's just normal to me.
But you're not also a princess locked in a tower somewhere.
So the reason why I was wondering why that was so important was I thought she was choosing a song that was so difficult that he thought she might fail at doing it.
No.
Because everyone was surprised when she started singing because she was good at it.
They thought she was lying, and that's why they called her out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they thought she really is who she says she isn't, but because she can sing well and then she has the people help her, she is able to pull it off. But yeah.
What was that Netflix series? Witcher, right?
Yeah.
They just had their Bard song equivalent to the Witcher's first Bard song, in my opinion.
What is it? Give your coin to the Witcher or something like that? Yep.
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 I was singing that shit for days, and then when the EDM version came out, that was even better.
Yeah. Witcher was good.
Wasn't a big fan, but I never played the game or knew any of that stuff. So, all right. So when Liandra's doing the whole brain thing with the other Black Aja in bed, she ends up killing her, and the other one came in.
Who is
The blue Black Aja?
Yeah, they're all just blacks at this point. They're not even donning.
But she's still wearing the blue.
Yeah, and Leandra's wearing red.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're yeah, so it helps us identify where they come from for sure. But they're all just blacks now.
Okay.
They're not like upholding their disciplines anymore.
She came in and she was absolutely terrified. Like, she had the look of, oh shit, we trusted you and you just backstabbed one of your own here.
Yeah, but she's also backstabbing her. She's more upset. I think she was more upset that she discovered that someone wasn't loyal to her, and now she's suspicious more than anything. Because when she went into the dream world to go meet her true master, who we haven't met yet because we get interrupted by the spider there, she looks scared even before she gets approached. So I think ultimately she's just fearful that she's going to get discovered and get killed too. Not that she trusted her, that she was like loyal to her.
Oh, see, we're big on loyalty, and so I'm used to looking for loyalty because there's still the whole honor among thieves thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that applies to them, because there is a difference in this one, because they're out for themselves and for personal power, not for like the betterment of their group, right? If it was betterment of the group or a more common goal, then I could see them being loyal or joining each other.
So I guess
It's
how
more
demons are portrayed.
More like a chaotic evil where you never really know what they're going to do, rather than like a neutral evil where like they adhere by a strict code, like honor among thieves. Yeah. So we do have to mention that Matt, while he's gambling and having fun, kind of mentions he wants some jewelry. Can you guys find me some necklaces, some bracelets? And because of his, in his natural environment being able to just kind of have conversations and being charismatic, he ends up getting one of the bracelets, one of the significant pieces that everyone's been looking for.
Man, was that lucky.
It was. And they also know where the necklace is too. It happens to be inside of a manor they have to go to, a state somewhere. And they also know where Liandrin is, but Liandrin also now knows that they're there.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on.
And so let's go to your Moghedien.
Whatever I want to call her today.
Yeah, when she goes and meets with the two ladies.
Yeah, so I thought it was awesome to finally see Compulsion, like a true mastery of Compulsion on the screen. Couldn't think of a word for a second there.
Words are hard today.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't want to get up this morning. Worth it. So it was really cool to see, Compulsion in work, like truly see it on screen, see it working, see the master of it herself doing it. And even I thought it was cool, the acting in that scene, because yeah, she's being like childish and playful, but she's just sinister and evil the whole time. And she's being like girly with them and like joking around and like holding their hands. But at the same time, there's like that, like you could feel, not even just tell, you could feel that like within it would be like that for her to just want to kill him, and she could.
Her bangs, every time I see bangs like that, I think of the chick from Die Antwoord, the rap group from South Africa.
I don't know this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think I know this group. I would have to look it up.
Okay, I'll show you after.
Okay.
But that just irritates me, the bangs like that. But Nynaeve. So she was resisting. And we also learned that she has she blocked herself from the magic because she's terrified of it. We knew a bit about that, yes. But having Moghedien go ahead and...
You're scrambling my brain. I'm not going to be able to say the word right now. Now I got to look it up again.
So when Moghedien pointed out the fact that she is just blocking herself and that's her why, and she's like, I'm just afraid of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like from this moment on, because of that encounter and that experience, she's going to start using it a whole lot more. Because I feel like Moghedien unlocked it for her.
Yeah. So Moghedien is her name. And so I think that this was a really awesome scene because we got to see a couple of things. One, we got to see that Moghedien can not only control somebody, but she can also like sense them. Like she can get inside of them and like feel who they are. So she knew right away she was dealing with actually powerful channelers who could be useful to her, which is probably the reason she let them live more than once she got what she needed. Because ultimately she's grabbing information, and then when she gets the information, which is really useful to her, she's figuring out where people are, what's going on, what do they know, what do they have, what are the pieces being moved around the board. So she gets a lot of information, and then she realizes, oh crap, they've got a powerful magical artifact. I probably should take that. That's going to be a good leverage point for me in the future. So she has that now. But what I think was powerful is that you get to see just how strong Nynaeve is. Like, not strong enough yet because she's not training it and she's resisting it. So she doesn't really have it yet, but she's powerful enough to resist a Forsaken without any training, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, a little bit of training, she might be a little, an adversary to them, which I think is going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, Moghedien was quite impressed.
Yeah, she was like, ooh, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I think that's what I'm saying. And like in that particular scene, just the subtle facial shifts between Moghedien and Nynaeve, it's like you could tell like she's smiling, but she's like resisting with her eyes, and like it's such great acting. And then Moghedien's like smiling too, but then her face goes to a bit of fear. Like, wait, did I just like? Can she resist it? And then she goes back to like, oh, I still got it. Like it's just so cool. Like that to me was just powerful. That scene probably stole the entire episode. Just watching the way that they played out Compulsion so well.
I disagree. The two scenes, the bar scene and that scene.
I mean, this was a good episode.
The fight was disappointing.
The end was the most disappointing part, 100%. Other than the fact, I think it ended too quickly, and Sammael was almost like a throwaway character at that point, which was my biggest gripe. But holy crap, watching Rand go full dragon and really use the weave, and just like almost like he doesn't even care about fighting. He's more obsessed with just how it feels. Like, oh man, this feels so good to be able to like touch it and use it. Meanwhile, he's just like, boom, 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 blasting the crap out.
But he's not even paying attention to any of that.
Doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Well, he cares afterwards, but.
Well, yeah, he ends up killing the girl.
That he owed a debt to.
Yep.
That's
I
great.
thought that scene was really cute that they threw that in when they were at the farm thing that they have.
Well, I think also it answered a lot of questions, because one of the things I was reading a lot was like, how are these people in the middle of the desert always having so much food? Like, where are they getting these vegetables from? And then the very next episode, it's like they show us this whole walled garden that they use. And it's like, oh, that's where they get their food.
That was really cool. But it was a cute little interaction with a kid who wants to be a spear bearer type chick.
She was, yeah.
And so it was cute how she got all pissed off too.
He touched my spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, I'm sorry. It's not the real thing anyway.
Oh no, he went right into like culture for her.
Yeah. I think that scene was only there for us to feel the pain that Rand now experiences after accidentally killing her.
Yeah. It was an unfortunate thing, right? Because she was an awesome character, and she was really like pretty integral to him like wanting to weave himself in a little bit more. But I also think like it's going to be an anchor for his humanity moving forward, right? Every time he uses the power, he's going to remember that there's costs.
Oh, like Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility.
I thought for sure he was going to be able to bring her back.
I thought that he was going to, honestly. I really did.
I thought it was
I
thought it was going to show how powerful he was. Like, no, you can't do that. Bitch, I'm the one dragon. I can do this. I can do anything. The prophecy tells me.
Yeah.
I destroy, but I create. In that moment, when Susie said the create part, I was like, oh, he's bringing her back.
Yeah. I think I was torn, right? Because they mentioned that once someone's dead, they're dead. Like you can't, like there's no magic that can bring them back. You can heal someone before they die, but you can't bring them back from the dead. Mm-hmm. But he is the dragon, right? So he is the most powerful channeler alive. And so he should be able to do that. But at the same time, to embrace that much magic, he would kill himself, right? He wouldn't be able to control that. I think that ultimately is why they have Maureen walk forward and kind of like be like, hey, like you may be able to do this, but like, and this is what she doesn't say it, but I think this is what she means. Like, hey, like you need to stop, because the cost of this is going to be you, right? Like you're going to kill yourself in the attempt to bring this little girl back, and there's nothing you can do.
So Egwene, I was pissed at in this episode when she was talking to Rand, and she goes, "Oh, you're already going mad already."
That was just jealousy.
I know.
Insecurity.
That shit brought me back to like toxic exes type stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what that shit is. That's a you hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you. Because this doesn't, or it's such, it's such delusion. I don't know what, because Egwene, you know, in her small town, she's hot shit, right? Like, so who knows? She might just be like, how dare you not want me and choose someone else? Who knows?
Well, I'm glad that we got 2 more episodes.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for those.
Wheel of Time has been great, and this was another great episode. We got a lot of the things. We got Maureen and Rand talking about their experience, about how they learned more, but that they still have questions, and you know what it feels like to touch the power. We got to see Rand use the power. We got to see a little bit more behind the scenes of like the Black Aja and just really how manipulative and power hungry they are. And we got to see a little bit more about like what the ultimate plan is. Also, I think we're only seeing, because we're missing some of the Black Aja, right? We've only met 11. There's supposed to be at least 12. So there's other ones out there. So I think that there's even more of a complex plan that's going to be coming in. But I'm excited to see where it all goes. And always to get more of the Forsaken. They're fun. So we have Perrin back in the Two Rivers, who is healed up now from the magic herbs of his people that actually let him heal pretty quickly. He is getting very flirtatious and now romantically involved with Farah, which I think is their name. Let me know in the comments if I got that right. And we also have the White Cloaks, who we had the return.
Something else missing too.
What did I miss?
The woman that I thought died at the battle.
Oh, yeah. She got healed by the girls.
The two little girls.
Who apparently held
hands
together.
Yeah.
I was right. I said I have a feeling that it's either one or both, and they are linked together.
Oh, that's what I said.
We had a theory on it. You were right. I was right. We were right. I'll have to go back and see maybe if I just agreed with you. However, it was right.
Yes.
And that was cool to see. And I wonder now moving forward if they have to be linked or not, right? Like if it's like they have power because they've always just been together, or if they only have power because they're together. We'll see. But yeah, she heals, and then she goes and heals Perrin completely of his wounds, because he only gets him so far with the magic herbs, but he gets upright looking real good from a huge stab wound to the side, just with some herbs. And then we get the return of the merchant, Paddon Fane, who is a Darkfriend, and now dressed like a White Cloak, covered in blood, showing up with some excuse that they fought some Trollocs, even though the Trollocs are his, and they're going to go handle the people of the Two Rivers. Those pesky people who are putting up resistance. And then as we saw at the end of the episode, it's not just a small army of White Cloaks. There's also a big army of Trollocs also moving into that area through one of the gates.
So the blood that's on all the White Cloaks wasn't from finding the Trollocs. It was from killing the White Cloaks so they could steal their uniform.
It was from the White Cloaks. Yeah. It was the original White Cloaks in the uniform's blood. Yes, absolutely. And the Trolloc problem, the Trollocs won, yeah, for sure. So we're going to have to deal with the fact that not only are they going to attack the Two Rivers, they're also being betrayed from the inside, and we don't know how that will play out yet. Will they get wiped out? Will Perrin be able to convince him that, hey, like, that's a bad guy and we need to fight him? Or, we'll see what happens.
So the White Cloak situation, that is the only time I'm rooting for the dark side, because I just want to see those White Cloaks wipe the fuck out.
They are. They're like your religious zealots, right? Like they're like just, it's pretty crazy, like radicalized group is what I was looking for, radicalized. Yeah. So another great episode. Looking forward to 2 more. Lots to unpack, as you mentioned. These are the kinds of things where if you have no real like context to these things, you might have to watch it multiple times because there's so many different storylines being weaved through each other. Weaved, Wheel of Time, that it could get a little confusing. But appreciate all of you guys in the comments letting us know, especially those of you who read the books, letting us know what we get wrong, what's different, and really help us understanding more context of what we're watching so that we can better review what we're going into moving forward without spoiling what's to come. Because many of you know we want to be surprised. We want to know what's not know what's coming and really just sit down and chat about it for the first time. We do have stuff that we chat about that we've read or watched before or other things like that where, I don't know, it doesn't seem nearly as an engaging conversation sometimes where we're trying to figure it out together. I think that's fun. So really appreciate you all. We are on our road to 30,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you guys. We will hit it here very soon. And, that again, thank you to you guys for doing that. Your likes of the videos, your comments, your subscriptions mean the world to us. It's the reason we get to keep doing what we're doing. So thank you guys all. And all right, guys, if you really enjoyed this video, then we have a bunch of other stuff that you can check out. We have a playlist of the entire Wheel of Time that we've been reviewing so far. You can check it out right here. It's that first little video up top, as well as some other stuff, fantasy-based things, that we've reviewed in the past as well. You can check that out there, as well as something that YouTube says you'll love right above my head. But with nothing else, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to become a member of our Patreon, that link is also down in the description. We'll see you guys on that video. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.